Now, this past month, I've been trying to help you out on that score. I have, in fact, generated 3 handy new pamphlets for your edification to help you become religiously literate, spiritually fluent, and morally competent. But a pamphlet isn't enough. I want you to have greater expectations of yourself. I want you to reach higher, to have stars for which you wish to aspire. Yes, these are little pamphlets, but they're kind of like a syllabus. You can take them home and guide yourself like the great courses all the way through your life. And Jason will help you, and I will help you. What's more, others will help you do it. We are, in some sense, a spiritual university, not a bad calling. But wait, there's more. What if we had not just pamphlets and courses, but a culture of great expectations? Not coercion, not finger waving, not demands from the pulpit, but an internal sense of rising up to something better or larger. What if we had a culture in which you didn't wake up on Sunday saying, should I go to church? But why shouldn't I go to church? After all, do you say the same thing about breakfast or lunch or dinner? You don't ask yourself whether to eat. You need to be nourished. Every Sunday, your soul is hungry. Well, I'm not sure I'll like what Fred has to say. It's food, whether you like it or not. I'm not sure I'll go. The choir isn't singing. You still should be here, because it isn't about whether it pleases you. We don't produce spiritual Happy Meals here. There are no toys in the box. But there is good, real, genuine ways for you to be alive in ways that you have missed all week long. Well, it's cold and it's dark. Yes, it is. Put on your big girl pants and come to church. What if that's the way you felt? Not because I told you, but because you felt it. Because when you joined this place, you found yourself being asked to rise up to a greater sense of yourself. What if we had that culture? What if our culture said, like many Baptist churches, worship is good, Sunday school is also good, and that means for grown-ups too? What if, in addition to coming here at 11, you came here at 9:30 and you were in a class first, like Jimmy Carter does every Sunday in Plains, Georgia, where he teaches Sunday school and then goes to church? What if we had a culture like that? What if we had a culture that expects us to live our faith Monday through Saturday and visibly as well? I know. I've heard the stories over and over, and they're hard stories about how people ridiculed and lambasted and otherwise criticized you when they found out you were from Fountain Street Church. But you know, I'm from Brooklyn. I have something to teach you. Someone looks at you funny and you say, yeah, I go to Fountain Street Church. You got a problem with that? Be proud, not just in your heart, but in your life, that you are a part of a community that bids you to stand a little taller than you might have otherwise, to walk a little farther, to work a little harder than everyone else. That is not a chore. That is a challenge. Levi Lyons wonders what keeps us from tithing. And yes, I'm going to talk about money, because we are persistently underfunded. I told you a few weeks back that my wife and I, a few years ago, decided we were going to tithe to Fountain Street Church. Nobody told us. Nobody twisted my arm. Nobody called me on the telephone. No one gave me the evil eye. We decided it because we decided the church was not a financial option, but a spiritual necessity. We pay it like we pay the rent or the heat. Now, you can make your mind up because this is a free church. I'm not knocking on your door asking you to sign a pledge. I'm asking you why you haven't. And that's a question I insist you ponder. Now, of all the expectations that are hard to establish, the hardest is making this stuff about money. It seems crass, doesn't it? But I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to give you a formula. I'm going to give you a rationale. I'm going to give you a way to look at this in a larger light. I'm going to tell you a few things and you'll notice them. Fountain Street Church. Free the mind, grow the soul, change the world. Triangle, circle, square. Red, yellow. You see a pattern? 3, 3. You can remember 3, can't you? You're good at remembering 3. I believe we should expect 3% of ourselves to go to Fountain Street Church every year. 3%. It's not a tithe. It's not even a half of a tithe. And I don't mean your money only. But I do know this. The average wage in Grand Rapids is $51,000, that there are over 600 families that take part in Fountain Street Church, and that if they all gave it 6%, I would never have to ask you for another penny. 3%, excuse me. I also know that 3% of your time amounts to 60 hours a year. My governing board, God bless them, they were meeting in their retreat yesterday. They put in 6 hours right there. The oratorio choir, you're meeting every Saturday plus. These are the people who are serving at 3% and above. They should not be the exception. It should be the norm throughout this community, that 60 hours goes back into the church, either through music or worship or in service to us or to the larger community, because it's an expectation that this is what we do. Micah the prophet and Benjamin Mays speak of the importance of high hopes and great expectations. We all have them, don't we? Sometimes they're outlandish. I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to start a company. I'm going to become a famous musician. These are low expectations. Anyone can be rich. Malcolm Forbes made it very obvious. Anyone can be rich. Just do that and nothing else. But not everyone can be a good soul. That's a star too high. You're going to fail at that. But I guarantee that you will come closer to that star by trying than if you don't try at all. Reach higher. Reach for justice. Reach for kindness. Reach for humility with yourself and with God. These are higher, greater expectations. These are stars worth reaching for. One of my favorite folks here was on the governing board years ago, and I have to demonstrate this. He said that while he was on the governing board years ago, it was not customary for the clergy, the senior minister, to go to governing board meetings. Worldly things over here, sacred things over here. But one month, Duncan Littlefair, of blessed memory, came and sat down in the bleachers where everybody else sat to watch the governing board. Quietly sat down and just looked. He's an auspicious man with furrowed brow and gray hair and a booming voice I'll never have. But he kept quiet. Everyone saw him. The chair said, "Duncan, would you like to say something?" Of course he did. "I understand that the new minister at church around the corner is being paid more than me. I should be the highest paid minister in Grand Rapids." And at the end of the meeting, he was. Well, I'm not Duncan, but I am your preacher. And I don't have the landline hair or the deep voice. But I'm sitting here, and you're going to ask me, Fred, do you have something to say? Yes. I'm the minister of Fountain Street Church, and Fountain Street Church should be the greatest church in Grand Rapids. And at the end of his ministry, they were. Amen.
Be